What's going on YouTube? rdapdan here. If you're interested in finding out what you need to do to possibly qualify for the residential drug addiction program, Rdap, that can reduce your sentence by up to 12 months, you definitely need to stay tuned for this video. Hey guys, welcome to Federal Prison Time with rdapdan. Today we're focusing on the residential drug addiction program, Rdap. So many people want to find out what they need to do in order to enter into the program. It's by far the most commonly asked question that I receive by email, text, phone calls, comments on prior videos. And if this is something that is a huge interest to you, there's probably nobody better to speak to regarding this program than me. Not only did I go through the program, I came very close to not qualifying for the program due to having open detainer, which is an open charge. I had a warrant out for my arrest on a case that was dispositioned incorrectly, which prevented me from getting into Rdap, prevented me from going to a camp, and if I had not taken care of it when I did, it also would have prevented me from going into the halfway house. So that in itself is a super important topic that you need to make sure that you've taken care of, that you've looked into. Do background checks, check your name in different counties, make sure that there's nothing open. Even if you think there's nothing out there, just double check it, because in my situation, I thought there was nothing there, but the court had actually filed something incorrectly, which appeared that I didn't show up to court when I actually did, and it took me several months to get this situation taken care of. And once you're inside of prison, it can be much harder to take care of a situation like this than it would be if you were to take care of it prior to going in. Family and friends, attorneys, they all have the best of intentions, but their lives are busy, busy, busy. And sometimes they can't just drop everything to go get these things taken care of. And you cannot always count on the prison system, your case managers, to help you with these in a timely manner. I was lucky and fortunate to have a case manager who at the last minute finally decided to allow me to make a phone call to get this taken care of. And if it had not been for that, I would have not have made it into Rdap, and that would have changed my sentence by up to 12 months. All of you know that I was sentenced to 42 months and actually only served 13 of that in prison due to good time, 12 months off for Rdap, and 11 months federal halfway house. These are all things that I have the ability to help you with, but timing is of the essence. And when you decide to start preparing for this is going to be the key component. Just because you want to take Rdap does not mean you're automatically going to get into the program. You have to make sure your PSR, your pre-sentence report, is executed properly. When you have the interview process with U.S. probation, if the information that you provide them is not accurate and is not what is needed to be said in order to qualify for the residential drug addiction program, it is going to make it very, very difficult for you to get in once you are admitted into the prison. Your attorney may not know exactly what to tell you. Your attorney may not even bring it up. You may be watching this video right now going, how come my attorney hasn't told me this? I talk to so many clients that unfortunately their attorneys either don't know, don't care, have misinformation, don't realize that it's that important to mention it during your PSR. But I'm telling you, during that PSR interview, that is going to be the most important document that is going to play out through your entire prison sentence. So if you're not sure and you haven't done your pre-sentence report yet, this is the time to pick up the phone, call, text, or email. All my information is on this screen. So guys, do yourself a favor and pick up the phone and call. Now, let's say you do qualify for Rdap. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get 12 months off. You need to be sentenced to more than 37 months or more in order to qualify for up to 12 months off of your prison sentence. Now, just because you were sentenced to 37 months doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the full 12 months off. It also takes into consideration at what point do you enter into Rdap. So if you were sentenced to, say, 37 months, if you were sentenced to the minimum, but it takes you 3 or 4 months to get into the program, because you have to also remember Rdap doesn't start every day. When you get to the prison, what you'll find out is most Rdap courses start every 60 to 90 days. So if you get to a prison, you go through the interview process, they say, yes, you're qualified for the program, but our next class doesn't start for 90 days, and you are sentenced to exactly 37 months, you're going to enter the program with less time than what's required, which now means you're only going to qualify for 6 to 9 months. In order to qualify for the minimum of 6 months of RDAP, your sentence needs to be more than 24 months. So you need to be sentenced to more than 24 months or enter into RDAP with more than 24 months remaining on your sentence in order to get the 6 months off of the program. Now, a lot of people are like, well, if I take RDAP, what if I don't get the time off? What if I have a crime that prevents me from getting any time off for qualifying for the program or for completing the program? The other key factor you got to remember, guys, is if you take RDAP and you successfully graduate the program, even if you're not getting time off, at least you're still going to be guaranteed 6 months of federal halfway house. If you do not take RDAP, there is no guarantee to how much halfway house time you may qualify for. Now, we have programs that help people get up to 12 months of halfway house. So in a perfect scenario, you can get 12 months off for the program, and you can also get 12 months off for RDAP. And then depending on the length of your sentence, you're going to get good time on top of that. So whatever your sentence is, if you multiply that by 15%, 15% is typically how much good time you're going to get. Or if you multiply it by 85%, that's how much time of your sentence that you're going to serve. So on a 60-month sentence, in a best case scenario, with good time, 12 months RDAP, 12 months halfway house, you're looking at around 26 to 27 months in prison on a 60-month sentence. So that's more than slashing your prison sentence in half. But you have to be willing to do the work up front. You need to be preparing for that. You need to understand what's involved. You need to be taking your personal narrative seriously, your character reference letters seriously. These are the letters that are going to go to the judge at the time of sentencing. Now, your personal narrative, ideally, you also want that entered into your PSR, your pre-sentence report, which again, that takes place after you take your plea. When you go have that investigation with U.S. probation, you want to ask to have your personal narrative entered into that report. I just did a video the other day on a judge that pretty much beats a guy up throughout the video, telling this guy has no idea who he is. And that's because his pre-sentence report wasn't done accurately, wasn't done effectively. More than likely, he either did not have a personal narrative, or his personal narrative was written very poorly. If your personal narrative is written poorly, it's probably as bad as not having one at all. For those of you that have been paying attention to the videos, you'll see that a personal narrative and character reference letters, if they're executed properly, can have dramatic results on either sentence reduction and in some cases even probation. And how do we know this has made such an impact? Because the judge told clients at the time of sentencing that they have not seen letters of this caliber. We're talking about the story that was conveyed, the amount of responsibility, the acceptance, the client taking all of this responsibility, taking all of this acceptance, identifying who his victims are, not just the victims of the crime, but also family and friends that are going through this with you. Identifying them as your victim, as they are also almost in a case being sentenced to prison because your children, your wife, your husband, your brothers, your sisters, your best friends, these are people that don't know what to do, and they are losing sleep while you're going through this. You're going through your own problems. In a lot of cases, we become selfish. We start having pity parties for ourselves. We start feeling really, really bad for ourselves. Meanwhile, our friends and family are there trying to give us words of encouragement, but they really do not know what to do. So if you've got friends and family that are going through this right now with you, you need to take a moment and go thank them, give them a hug, let them know that you appreciate what they're trying to do for you, because this is completely new territory to them. You think it's new territory to you, and you are in an unbelievable state of mind where you can't believe that you're looking at federal prison time. Neither can they. Neither can your parents. Neither can your children. Neither can your siblings. Neither can your spouse. In some cases, it's way rougher on them than it is on us, especially once you enter into the prison system. And if you're going to a camp or a low, you're going to realize real quick that it's not the worst place in the world. They are still going to feel like, oh my God, he's in prison. What's he going through? Is he safe? Is there anything I can do? How much money do I need to send him? Do I need to get a second job to be able to help support my loved one in prison? You've got to do what you can do to put their mind at ease and give them as much reencouraging words as possible letting them know how important they are to you and how grateful you are for the little or the lot that they're able to do for you. Prison is not easy, and it's not easy on you, and it's not easy on your family. You've got to remember that when you're going through this. The residential drug addiction program, even though everybody's purpose for getting into it initially is they want the time off, I can tell you right now, if you get into that program, within a couple of months, you're going to realize that the program offers so many useful tools and benefits that you're going to be able to take back with you once you release from prison. Rdap is going to teach you how to identify your criminal thinking. It's going to help you identify your poor, miserable thinking. It's going to help you take more responsibility for your actions. It's going to help you identify your flaws, your dark secrets that you don't want anybody to know. You're going to find things out about yourself that you may not even know today. I can assure you that if you utilize the program and you take it seriously, you're going to learn things about yourself that you do not know at this moment. And you're going to be so grateful that you had the opportunity to go through this program that you're going to want to share this information with everybody you come across. The important thing to remember is to know that they didn't take the program. The information that you learned it the hard way. You learned it by going into the prison system. You learned it by going through the residential drug addiction program, which is an intense 10-month course that's inpatient. You're going to be in a special unit with nothing but other people in the program. So all this information, these skills, these tools that you've learned, you can't just expect to get out and go tell somebody, oh, you're doing things wrong. This is how you need to do it. You're going to be on two different levels. You're going to have to give them time to be able to soak in the information that you tell them, give them time to process it. And after they keep seeing how it's changed your life, at some point, maybe it'll rub off on them, maybe it won't. But that's not the point. The point is you've now bettered yourself. And if you ever have any intentions of helping somebody else, you can't do it until you've been able to help yourself first. Once you help yourself get to a better spot in life to where you're happy, you're healthy, you're no longer blaming other people. You're not playing the victim. You're done manipulating others. You're done taking advantage of others. And you see the ways that you were living your life and you see the flaws and what you're doing wrong then. Once you're able to comprehend that, now you're able to make better choices. And just by making better choices in life is going to indirectly help those around you. And you're going to find that some of your friends who you thought were your friends are going to disappear, because they don't know how to act around you now because they know the old you, and maybe the old you is not the person that you are anymore. Maybe you've evolved into a better version of you that now can be the father, the mother, the son, the daughter. You can be the person that you actually want to be, and you no longer have to put on a mask and pretend to be somebody different. Guys, I can't tell you enough how important it is to take the situation real serious. And if you're not in prison yet and you're watching this video right now, you're going through the motions, you're feeling all kinds of anxiety, your sleepless nights, you're having fear, you don't know what to do, you don't know what prison's going to be like, you're not sure what you can do to reduce your sentence. You need to take matters into your own hands to a certain extent and realize that your attorney is only going to be able to do so much. He's going to negotiate that plea with the prosecutors. Everything else after that is up to you and what you're doing. What are you doing for work? What are you doing on building a mentor network? What are you doing with community service? What are you doing with your personal narrative and your character reference letters? Have you taken this stuff serious? Most people, for some reason, do not. They either think it doesn't matter, or they don't know where to start, or they're so used to just putting their heads in the sand that they don't want to pop up and take responsibility because it's too hard to think about these type of things because you don't know anything about it. You need to start somewhere, and sometimes it's as easy as just to pick up the phone and call somebody that you can talk to. Guys, I'm telling you, you can definitely pick up the phone and call me. It's not going to cost you a dime to talk to me to find out where your mind is at and what we can do to reduce some anxiety. I have no problem with talking to anybody, texting with anybody. Not everybody's going to become a client. Some people aren't ideal clients. You may not be a candidate to become a client. You may not need my service, but you might need some direction with just some basic questions. But a lot of you do need the service. You just don't know it yet. So guys, I encourage you, stop what you're doing, take a minute, analyze your situation and find out, are you actually happy with the way things are going right now in your life? Are you completely confident that the attorney is got everything taken care of, and you know how to get into Rdap, you know what to expect in Rdap. Remember, just because you get into Rdap doesn't mean you're going to make it through Rdap. I saw a lot of guys that entered into the program that were either kicked out, or they dropped out, or they were recycled. Recycled meaning they got set back once they were in the program because they weren't progressing at the proper rate. Everybody's different. Everybody progresses differently. But guys, this whole program that you're looking at right now, getting ready to enter into prison, there's so many moving parts. And if you think you have it all figured out, that's when you're going to find yourself getting the rug yanked out from underneath you and falling flat on your face. And the chances are you're going to start pointing the finger saying, well, they didn't do this, or my attorney didn't tell me this, or the U.S. probation officer didn't put this information in there. It's going to be your fault at the end of the day if it's not taken care of. So do yourself a favor, pick up the phone, give me a call. Anyway, guys, I'm rdapdan. Make sure you subscribe, share, like. Also, if you haven't already done so, text the word YouTube to 35074. That's going to make sure you receive updates and notifications for any specials, any tips we may be sending out. Again, that's text the word YouTube to 35074, guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I love every single one of you. Remember, guys, our motto is people helping people. Community is method, one day at a time. I'm rdapdan. Have an amazing weekend. Peace.